All right, guys,
Pretty
let's
cool,
close
Eric.
this thing out with our big, bold predictions for the week. Not necessarily something that is going to happen, but something that would be absolutely crazy. Jay, let's start with you on this one because I think it's very topical right now.
Rattled by this. Can't even. Yeah, I don't even want to bring this guy up because it might bring the impression back. But I think that Lamar Jackson will sign a deal with Baltimore, and I think that's how this ultimately ends. When you just look at the incentives, I think the fact that there is this non-exclusive franchise tag is very, very good for Baltimore because it basically allows them to play chicken in a respectful way. And here you go, Lamar, go try sign a deal. You're not going to get the Sean Watson money because that's insane, but he will be able to, I think, be able to get a deal that is, that is fair and will get him back to Baltimore. So I suspect it may not happen this week, but I think that he will be back in Baltimore on a new deal.
All right.
Barry, what do you got?
I don't know that's the boldest prediction, but
I think isn't the consensus that he's probably just going to be back on the franchise tag?
Yes.
That's
He
the
can't
most
play
likely
on
thing.
that, yeah.
I think that's just a mess, and I think that he will sign a new deal.
Okay, so your bold prediction is he signs a new deal.
Yep.
All right. Do you have an you want me to do? I could do an impression of his agent, his mom.
No.
Yeah, we're going to skip that one.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
We gave it good thought.
Yeah, I thought about it for a second.
His mom.
My bold prediction, and I've said this before, so I'm out on a limb on this already, is I think Matthew Stafford retires.
Okay.
He has denied this. His wife has a podcast. He has gone on that podcast. He says he is not retiring.
Is it award-winning?
It is not, as far as I know.
Yeah.
But he has denied the retirement rumors. I just think if he gets to so this is not something that's going to happen in the next week, likely. But I do think I do think he retires. That's my bold prediction: is that he does retire. That he thinks about it. And right, we're trading Ramsey. We're getting rid of Allen Robinson. The offensive line's a mess. We're going to be bad. We have no space in the cap. We're really up against it with the cap. We have no draft picks or capital as well. Like we kind of went all in for the last 2 years, and it worked. We won a Super Bowl. And I just, I don't know. I'd like to enjoy my life, right? As opposed to walking around with chronic back pain. Like I'm a very wealthy man. I'm a Super Bowl winner. I'm a borderline Hall of Fame player. I'm famous. I've got young children. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my life as a very rich and famous person in football. And I'll go be a broadcaster or executive or Pee Wee football coach, whatever the hell he wants to do. That's what I think.
Yep. Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl, played well in that Super Bowl. And now Matthew Berry is trying to bully him into retirement.
Yes.
Just keep bringing this up.
I think the borderline Hall of Famer might be what has him holding on right now.
You think so?
Maybe he wants to cement Hall of Fame status.
You don't have to do that on a
probably
crappy
just
team,
No,
though.
that's not the place to do it right now.
He probably also just really wants to play football, right?
Some
Like,
guys, most guys are like that, especially quarterbacks.
But the Rams are not gonna. They're not going to win the Super Bowl next year.
Hot
I don't
take.
think. Yeah, I mean they're 30
What are the odds
to
of
1.
that?
They're 30 to 1. I mean they've got better odds than the Broncos and the Packers and the Browns, which I don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah,
but
the Browns
it feels like it's Browns have got some upside. Yeah, Browns have got some
lot
real
of
upside.
upside.
Yeah.
A lot of upside.
So I mean, they got a tough division as well. I think they're the third best team in that division, even with Stafford. I think the Seahawks will be better.
If Lamar
than the
leaves,
Rams.
what happens then? How tough is that division?
What's that?
If Lamar leaves,
Lamar leaves.
talking about the Browns.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to be like,
talking,
wait. All right, I'm like, wait, Lamar's in the NFC West?
No,
like, wait,
I was
what?
talking about
That
the
would be quite a
Rams
plot
being
twist.
the third best team.
right.
But I think, the Browns have huge upside. It just doesn't feel like the Rams now have a
I'm not convinced the Rams are better than the Cardinals.
Yeah, they're probably better than the Cardinals.
I don't.
We'll see when Kyler
see when Kyler
actually
comes.
It depends on when Kyler returns.
I'm kind of baking in that Kyler's out the first month of the season.
I think so too.
Maybe longer.
That'd be a really fast return. My big bold prediction here, guys, it actually went bold. Say Juju Smith-Schuster goes elsewhere for the Chiefs. How about them trading for DeAndre Hopkins? DeAndre Hopkins in that offense.
I like that.
I think he'd be
Tasty.
happy about that. We've heard them connected to Laramie Tunsil, but they went out and signed a big money offensive tackle.
Right.
They have cap space. They've done restructures. They've gotten some money. They have room to open up more. I don't think Hopkins would ask for this big new contract if he went somewhere that made him happy. Hopkins to the Chiefs, I think that would be something fantasy relevant, Super Bowl relevant. That would be a lot of fun.
That'd be amazing.
I think
I don't think
one
the
of
cost will be
Like,
much,
I mean,
by
just,
the way.
just Mahomes is like, I'm just going to throw it somewhere near
Yes.
you. And Hopkins like,
Oh,
I'll
that
come down with
connection.
it. Like, yeah.
It's kind of gone under the radar because they ended the season so poorly. But I thought one of the most surprising things about last year was when DeAndre Hopkins came back. He looked all the way
great.
back to being DeAndre after not being that guy the year before. And I know there were schematic things to do with that, but he looked like he was just DeAndre Hopkins, Nuke Hopkins again. And to pair him with Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, which I would really like as well, would be really fun.
Be amazing.
And as we close out the show, some notable free agents still out there on the market as we wrap up. It's not a huge fantasy market this year.
No.
We've heard the Jets could be closing out on Allen Lazard. He is technically still out there. We brought up Juju Smith-Schuster. Dalton Schultz will be fantasy
My nipples
relevant.
are hard for Allen Lazard. That was a quote I heard at the Combine more than once.
Are you friends with the Jets, apparently?
Yeah.
Or Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah. I'm not gonna say whose nipples were hard for Allen Lazard, but yes.
Someone
There were
out
definitely
there.
at least 2 pairs of hard nipples for Allen Lazard at the NFL Combine in Indianapolis.
Oh boy. Been a tough second half of the show, hasn't it?
Not for me.
Yeah. Yep.
Not for me.
Well, that's a wrap on our free agents.
You know what I'm happy to see is that is when we list notable free agents, that the producers didn't put my name on there. Just on the they're just basically like, you know what? We've looked at it. We've talked to NBCHR. We can take the cap hit for the next 3 seasons.
No shot.
Right, exactly. We're gonna
no restructure on that one.
Probably I'll get a restructure. That's a fair. All right, listen. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. It's closing time. Happy hour back next week for Connor and Jay. I'm Matthew. Peace out. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBC Sports and RotoWorld.com. Just want to thank you so much for watching what you just watched, or at least being too lazy to click out of it after the autoplay just kept it going. So either way, thank you so much for just letting it scroll by your screen. And now I'd like to ask you respectfully, please subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel for the latest NFL news, fantasy headlines from RotoWorld, and betting analysis from NBC Sports Edge.